Hello everyone, welcome back to Render Spaz video. We are continuing our 1967 Shelby GT500 custom build, and we're going to apply a material to the body paint where we're going to start to give this car some color. What we're going to do is we're going to apply a unwrap modifier, and we're going to start to lay out our seams of where we want to apply our graphics, and that's going to be on the side panels here, or just on the side right now. So I'm just going to prep that, and I'm going to select these elements and detach them from the body so they're not one, and that way we can just focus on the side. So let's speed this up a bit and let's start to create our seam. So I'm going to use the seam tool here, the end-to-end seams, and we're just going to kind of go across and just lay out where we want to detach our side panel, or our side of the car. All right, so we're just going to now select these elements here and then just detach. Right, once we do that, we expand it to pretty much the edge. That blue edge is where we have our cut or our seam line, and we're just going to apply the onto the editor here. We're just going to make sure that we can lay out where we want our graphics to be. So I'm using the unwrap checker. Okay, this is just a checker material that you can apply in Max. Just pretty much make sure that there's no distortion or nothing looks too funky there. So now we're just going to do the other side, and we're going to lay out our seams here too as well. Okay, so we're just going down roughly to where we want to make our cut, and then we're just going to project back on, and I'm just going to overlay on top of our other side here on the other side and just try to get a match. And then we're just going to flip it. So grab this guy here and just kind of flip it over. And then we can just do our UV checker here. Let's check to make sure everything looks good and the distortion is not too bad. We'll just keep going. We're just going to now do the roof and the top section here. We'll just map it out. And this should just help us with Photoshop when it comes to putting in the graphics, and you'll see this shortly. So I'm just gonna put the trunk in there as well. Why not? All right, so we got something like this. Let's move those guys out of the way for now. Then we're just gonna head off here into Photoshop and begin to use our template that we rendered out in the UV unwrap editor. And now we can start to apply a mask that we're going to use for the lines of our design for the graphics on the side here. So I'm just going to lay out some of these with the pen tool. I'm just going to do some perspective lines here that might look really cool. I'm going to do some adjustments, and I'm going to make some little bit of an offset to these lines. Make one a little bit thinner at the bottom here, and then just kind of play around to see what we can come up with and get an interesting looking shape. So just creating this should help right now, just give us an idea. So as I get back into Max, I then apply the start of the template here just so I can see what I'm working with. So let's clear all these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with creating our base material. We're going to use a layer shader, and this is going to give us the material that's going to be used for the graphic, and then we're going to use the mask as in the mix layer here, and that's going to give us where that line's going to be. So what's cool about that is we can pretty much make this line, these lines any color that we want. Right now I'm going to keep them white, but hopefully you'll get the idea in just a moment here of what we're going to do with this. But right now what I'm doing is just inspecting some of the areas of where I want these lines to go. Right now I don't like how thick it is right there at the end. I just want it to taper off before it gets to the headlight area or that front of the part of the car. So what we got to do is come back into Photoshop, and we're just going to adjust these guys here. So we're just going to bring them down to taper them so that they come more into a point towards the end. And I'll do that the same with the second line here as well, and just kind of get it into a spot that I want, and same with the bottom one here. We'll take that shape as well, convert it so that we can edit the 2 points that are in the front here, and just grab them, bring them across, and let's just give it a little more of a pinch. There we go. And that's kind of what I want. Just make sure the lines are correct, and as we try to refresh, okay, hold on. Okay, so we're just going to move along and try to extend these lines over, because I just want this to kind of go across the whole entire car here, or at least the side of it. And then we're going to figure out a way in the back just to try to make it come together and taper off somehow. So I'm just going to adjust these lines, make sure nothing's looking off when it comes to perspective. I'm just doing this by eye, so I'm just trying to really kind of dictate where things should be. I think that looks correct. So I think this is looking pretty good so far. We added the line that goes across, and then just wanted to figure out how I'm going to end this line on the side. So I thought maybe make it go up and angular up towards the tail lights, towards the corner there. And I believe that works with the design. It's pretty cool. I want something very simple, nothing too much going on, but just enough to really kind of show speed and kind of follow that side, the door lines of the car, the belt line, if you will. Just to follow that, and I think this is going to work with the wrapping. I'm just going to detach this guy here, so it's not part of that section of the body, because it's where the side is there is because the graphics actually getting mapped on there incorrectly. So I'm just going to give it its own material for now. So yeah, let's see what else we can do here. Alright, so now we're going to go with the car paint, and I'm going to start off with using the standard shader. We're not going to go with the car paint this time, but I'm going to kind of go off the Viscom design with that paint style of kind of like more of like a bronze or brownish color. And we're going to see what we can do here. So I'm going to use a fall off map right in the color slot there. That's going to give us a little bit of some sheen. It's almost going to have like a sheen look to it. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just going to apply some of that and add some metalness and start to mess with the IOR and just try to get something a little bit more metallic. And something like this looks really good. We're going to keep just playing with some of these settings. And as I'm just tweaking, just trying to get a cool look here with the paint. So a lot of tweaking here that's gone on, and just trying to find something that works. I do like putting a little bit of the red in there. I just thought that looked really cool. It kind of gave us like a purple bronze look in certain areas. Like as you're moving around the car, the paint's going to show different color here and there. Like it's just going to have a cool effect to it there. I'm just going to play with a little bit more of the base color here to get some of that brown or bronze color to come through a bit more, maybe saturate it or desaturate it, and try to kind of get something looking half decent here. So this is coming along quite nice, and I love it with the stripe. I think this is going to work. So we're just going to continue to play around a little bit with the mask here, and that's what I was talking about when we're creating the mask. We can make the stripe any color that we want, and I'm going to kind of go with like more of a metal or like a kind of like a gunmetal or carbon fiber look. It's a little bit reflective, so when certain angles it will reflect that stripe. So that seems to work pretty cool. I love it how it goes across and tapers towards the headlight there, and it just stands out nice. So let's get a render here on the other side as I applied the graphics to that side as well off camera here, just pretty much the same thing I did in Photoshop, and it just mirrored it over. And that's looking really cool. I love how that line goes across and angles down and then it comes back up. This is really, really cool, and definitely going with this. I'm gonna have to change the material there in the back. I got the back bumper area there that needs to be body color here, so let's just go over there and grab that, and oh, I can't see it. All right, let's kind of move this guy over here. All right, let's apply that. There we go. Oh, yeah, the back end looks great too. This is really nice. All right, so let's move over to this side here. Let's make sure everything kind of lines up correctly, and it does. It's looking good. I love that, even like that small little stripe at the bottom really kind of helps with the detail there. All right, so we got a little section there. We still gotta put a material on, so it just somehow got detached. So let's select the elements here, and then let's just give it a new material. Standard surface, and we're just gonna apply that. I'm gonna make it just like a black insert there. Something I will kind of hide the inner pieces of that little vent there. All right. And here we are, guys. We have a render, and this is great looking so far. I love the design of the little stripe, or you could say not a pinstripe, but an angular stripe that comes up towards the back there, and then just tapers down, and then going right across to the headlight here. The paint seems to work really well. It's got that nice bronze and with a little bit of red going through there. Yeah, guys, this has been a fun project to work on. I hope you guys are enjoying it too as well, and thank you for the ones who've followed me all the way through until this point, as now we're getting towards the final stages. So as we're looking at this car, I got some other images that I've rendered out, so we can have a look at the other side. You can see how the graphic works really nice on this side as well. And I went and put the mesh into the grill areas here just to finish it up. I also did that little inset there and made that black, and then trying to see if the hood works well as like a kind of like a matte black as well. But yeah, I'm very excited about this design, and man, it would be really cool to see this car actually be created. But I'm just thrilled with how this wide fenders worked and how they came out. It doesn't look strange at all. It's delicate enough, but it's very strong. It's got a good bold stance to the car. So this is excellent. I love the back end. I like the way how this just kind of, it's like a modern kind of like light bar that comes across and tapers down. And I just wanted it to be simple but aggressive. And I hope you guys are liking this design as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to actually doing more in the future. But yeah, we're not done yet. We're getting close. We're in the 9th part, so there's 10 parts to this series. So our next one's going to be pretty much getting the car in a full rendered environment, or just doing some finishing touches, and then that'll be the end of this this build. But I hope you guys are enjoying it, and you guys can see the big picture now from where it started when it was just Eleanor, and then it just stripping that all down and changing some of the fenders and all these elements and cleaning it up and pushing down the roof area to get it a little bit more sleeker looking and a little bit modernize this car as well. So yeah, very excited, guys. I'm looking forward to the next part where I'm going to start to get this car into more of a rendered, it's more of like a final rendered stage where I'm rendering some, maybe even some other details here, and I'm also going to do a little bit more touch up. But other than that, we are getting close. Alright guys, well that'll conclude this video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next part. Bye for now.